Hi, I'm Steve Mitchell, aka The Michelli from themichelli.com, and in this episode, it is day 30 of my bulking challenge muscle gain program thing. And how much muscle did I actually gain? So let's do a very quick recap. I had spent a month doing fasting of different types. So I did a month of intermittent fasting, I did a month of sporadic water fasting, I then did a full 8-day water fast, and I tried to cut down as much fat as I could, and I did quite well with that. And I got myself from about 86, 87 kilos down to 79 kilos. And then I decided, right, how do I start to put on muscle, lean muscle, good quality lean muscle? So I did a lot of investigation, I did a lot of research into what builds muscle now, what's the current research saying, and I also read a few books, which are not the latest. I read The 4-Hour Body by Tim Ferriss, and I thought, well, if I combine what I know about nutrition now with some of those principles that Tim Ferriss was doing, and the Casey Viator Colorado experiment, where he managed to put on 63 pounds of lean muscle in a single month, what could I do? So my program was, I was just going to train for 1 hour a week, split into 2 sessions. On Mondays, I trained for 30 minutes. It would be my back, my legs, so bent over rows, pull-ups, squats, deadlifts, that type of stuff. Thursday, train for half an hour. I would do my chest, shoulders, and arms. The idea was, if I'd just done my chest, shoulders, and arms, I'd have 4 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then Monday training. I trained in Monday evening, Thursday evening. So I'd have 4 days recovery for my biggest muscle groups that I would work out on a Monday. Then I'd have 3 days recovery and I would do the smaller muscle groups. That was kind of the science behind it. 4 hours of total working out in a month, and that hasn't worked out because today should be my 4th workout for my back, shoulders, and legs, and I had my weigh in. So that's the other thing. So on day 1, I went to Resolve Physiotherapy, where I met the wonderful Syra Raymond. She is an awesome physiotherapist who did a full body composition test on me, where she was able to use the latest in ultrasound technology, where they peer through your skin down to your muscle layer, and they can measure really accurately exactly how much body fat you're carrying in different places. So they measure my thighs, my chest, my stomach, my lower back, my upper back, my arms, my shoulders, you name it. They tested it, see how much fat I've got on it, and they came up with a calculation. Now, I had told Syra that I'd been also doing my own calculations. I've been doing my own health challenge, trying to lose weight, fasting, and my body fat scales said I was at 26% body fat. And then I had the US Army metric calculation. It's an algorithm, and so you put in your neck and your waist, and it gives you another number, and that said I was 21%. And when Syra did my body fat calculation accurately using ultrasound, she put me at 14.6%, and I was gobsmacked because that sounds like a great body fat percentage, especially considering how much fat I felt like I was carrying on my midsection. But it did show that I do carry all of my fat really on my tummy. So that was my starting point. I could then find out, I knew I was 79 kilos, I was at 14.6% body fat, so I knew exactly how much lean muscle I've got, and they give you great printouts where it shows you your lean muscle, your fat, and where the fat's stored on these different areas that they tested. And then I did my program. So I was working out, as I said. I was also doing 5 minutes of cardio a week, which sounds like nothing. In fact, it's probably 5 minutes 3 times a week. I started doing running with parachutes. That was not very effective. So I did running with 10 kilo vest and parachutes, and that also wasn't very effective. It's quite ungainly and was taking me longer to get ready to do my 5 minutes of exercise than actually the 5 minutes of exercise. So I ditched that and I went out and I purchased a 24 kilo, 52-pound kettlebell, and my cardio then turned into 50 swings of the kettlebell 3 times. And that was a good workout. That was a really good workout. Only took me, less than 10 minutes. That was my cardio. Did that 3 times a week. No endless running. And for diet, I did predominantly a ketogenic diet. So what I would do is Monday to Friday, I made sure that I got 220 grams of protein. So that was meant to be 1.2 grams of protein or 1.5 grams of protein, somewhere between those two, of protein per pound of body weight. I was 170 pounds, so that took me to about 220 grams of protein. And because I was doing a ketogenic diet, I wanted that to be 25% the protein of my total calorific needs. Protein is 4 calories per gram, so that gave me 880 grams at 20%. So then I had to have, thousands and thousands of calories a day, most of that fat, 5% or less of carbs. So that was tough. But for the first week, I made most of my gains in that first week, from week 1 to week 2. That's where most of my gains were. And that's because my weights that I was lifting, I got a 60 kilo set of weights, lifted that. It was tough in week 1. By week 2, it was manageable. But I struggled because I didn't have any more weight to lift. So I could not progress with my weights. The problem was I was getting stronger because I would increase my warm-up set. I was only doing one proper set of 10 to failure, and if I could hit 10, then the next week I had to add on 10 pounds. So for deadlifts and squats, I went straight to 60 kilos and I could never progress that. For my other exercises, bench press, shoulder press, bicep curls, I started low, but I started to increase the weight really quickly, to the point that I think that really stifled my progress. The fact that I had consumed, I could lift all of my weights. I think if I had more weight, I could have done even better. The other challenge I had was that calculation for my calorific needs were based on the fact that I would be taxing my body to the max every session I worked out. And the thing is, as I found it easier after week 2, week 3, I probably was eating, whereas it was just enough for muscle growth in weeks 1 and week 2, for weeks 3 and weeks 4, I do feel that's where I started to put on the fat again. And I think it was too much calories. I either needed to dial back, because the intensity had come back down because I was used to the weight, I probably needed to dial back the calories or increase the intensity by putting more weight on, which I didn't have. So if I was to do this again, there are improvements, and I know I could have done better. But what are the results? Well, I have them here. So my starting weight was 79 kilos and I finished at 82.6 kilos, an increase of 3.6 kilos or 7.92 pounds, nearly 8 pounds I put on in 30 days. My tummy came down from 94 centimetres down to 91.5 centimetres, a reduction of 1 inch or 2.5 centimetres. My neck has gone from 40.25 centimetres up to 42 centimetres, so I'm pleased with that. My chest has gone from 102 centimetres up to 108 centimetres, so that is awesome. And I could have done more if I had had more than 60 kilos of weight. My biceps are pathetic, and they've gone from 34 centimetres only up to 35 centimetres. So there's clearly a lot of work to be done in these. These are not the pyramids of Egypt, but work in progress, right? My thighs, now because I'm not used to doing squats and deadlifts, my thighs have gone from 55 centimetres to 59.5 centimetres, an increase of 4.5 centimetres. That's awesome. And my shoulders is where the biggest impact has been. They've gone from 116 centimetres up to 124 centimetres, an increase of 8 centimetres. And actually, I think I could test my shoulders more. I felt like I lost some strength in my chest and in my shoulders because I was also at the same time trying to correct a shoulder imbalance. My shoulders are if I put these down, my shoulders are not perfectly square. This shoulder is lower than the other. I had, it was a bit dropped. I'm trying to strengthen my shoulders. I'm trying to pull them back. I've been trying to fix what I thought was scapular winging. There's all sorts of stuff on YouTube for different ailments, but actually I just think I need to strengthen them. So in trying to get better form, I had to dial the weight back a little bit, but I feel I'm in a much better place. I'm far more equal now than I have been from before I started, and I'm doing the appropriate stretches and rehabilitative, is that even a word? Rehabilitation exercises to get my shoulders to where they should be. So what does it mean in terms of the results? Well, according to my calculation, my body fat went from 22.2 to 18.94%, a reduction of 3.26. But as I found out from the first time I did my full body composition, my stats are only good for comparing momentum and trajectory. Am I going in the right direction or am I not? For accuracy, I can only use the stuff that I got from Resolve Physiotherapy, the full body composition. So what did that tell me? That told me that for all the changes that went through my body fat percentage has changed by absolutely nothing. I am still 14.6%, and I wanted to be gutted. I wanted to be gutted, but I couldn't be gutted simply because there was a part 2 to this. Even though my body fat percentage had not changed, the distribution of where my body fat is has changed significantly, and for the better, for the healthier. It's come away from my tummy because my tummy has come down, and it's redistributing itself on my chest, shoulders and arms, which is a much healthier way of distributing my body fat. But if my body fat percentage hasn't changed and my weight has gone up, yes, that means I have put on 3 kilos or 7 pounds of lean mass. And the thing is, all the research that I read said a good bodybuilder would put on 2 pounds of lean mass. You can put on another half a pound if you're in your 20s. And if it's your very first month in weight training, you could probably put on another half pound. So a really good bodybuilder, this is what everyone will tell you. You can only put on a maximum. If it's 20 years ago, I could put on 3 pounds of lean body mass. And I'm in my 40s and I'm carrying ailments and I don't lift, and I put on 7 pounds of lean mass, and I could have done more if I had more weight. Awesome. Awesome. So what's next? Well, I think I need to tweak my routine a little bit. I need to dial back the protein a bit, which will allow me to rein the calories in a little bit. I need to buy more weight. So I'm going to order today a 7-foot Olympic bar, which is about 20 kilos on its own, and 140 kilos of cast iron plates. And I'm going to see just how far I can take this. So if you're curious to how the body scan went, I will put an insert to it here, and you'll be able to see what the process was for me having my body scan. And if you are interested in that full process, I will probably do an edited version of that as a separate video so you can see exactly what the process is for having a full body scan through ultrasound. I highly recommend it. If you are anywhere near Birmingham or Sutton Coldfield, get yourself over to Resolve Physiotherapy. I am not affiliated. They've given me no discount. I paid for this with my own hard cash, but the service was awesome, the people were lovely, and the data was accurate. So what more can you ask for, right? So I highly recommend them. So if you're interested in following on the progress of this journey, please click the subscribe button. If you like this video, please click the like button. It's really important to make sure that other people get to see these videos. If you haven't already, please get yourself over to themichelli.com, where for this I will do a supporting article. And if you want to interact with me or follow me, I am the Michelli on social media, on Twitter and Facebook, Pinterest and Instagram and whatever else you can find me on. And I'll see you next time.